Hi, welcome back to Unit 2, Language. This is Lesson 7, Adjectives and Adverbs. You'll find this information in your textbook on pages HB 60 through HB 63. Adjectives and adverbs are words that describe other words, adding important information and detail. When Dave Barry writes that the Beatles were the coolest thing you'd ever seen, and that they were smart, they were funny, they didn't take themselves seriously, the adjectives and adverbs make clear why he wanted desperately to be a Beatle. Adjectives and adverbs are very similar. They're words that describe. What makes them different is the kinds of words they describe. Adjectives describe nouns and pronouns. They usually answer one of these questions: which, what kind, how many. In this sentence, 2 rows of ancient oak trees line the narrow driveway. The adjectives are to, answering how many, ancient, telling us which tree, and narrow, answering what kind of. Many years of testing will be needed to determine whether the newest theories are correct. The adjectives are many, newest, and correct. If you're craving something sweet, have a piece of fruit. There's only one adjective this time, and it's sweet. Adverbs modify verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. They usually answer one of these questions: how, when, where, why, under, and to what degree. Although many adverbs end in ly, such as quickly or tentatively, many do not, like now, so, soon, then, and very. Emergency personnel must respond quickly when an ambulance arrives. The adverb quickly is easy to identify because it ends in the classic ly. Here's another one. Environmentalists are increasingly worried about Americans' consumption of fossil fuels. Or, if the senator had known that the news cameras were on, she would not have responded so angrily. Besides angrily, so is used as an adverb here to describe how angrily she responded. Well and good are words we tend to use interchangeably in casual conversation. In writing, however, they have specific roles. Well, used as an adjective, describes physical health. I'm well, thanks for asking. Good, on the other hand, describes emotional health or appearance. Instead of some herbs can keep you feeling good when everyone else has the flu, use feeling well because you're describing physical health. However, you would say staying healthy can make you feel good about yourself. Good is appropriate here because it refers to emotional health. Don't use good as an adverb. Always use well. Because both Williams sisters play tennis so well, they frequently competed against each other in major tournaments. We talked about bad and badly a couple of lessons ago when we were discussing commonly confused words. Use the adjective bad after a linking verb to describe an emotional state or feeling. In such cases, the adjective describes the subject. Arguing with your parents can make you feel bad. Here, bad is used as an adjective to describe you. Use the adverb badly to describe an action verb, like arguing with your parents late at night can make you sleep badly. In this sentence, badly is an adverb that describes how you slept. Most adjectives and adverbs have 3 forms: the positive, the comparative, and the superlative. The positive is the base form. The comparative is used to compare 2 things. The superlative is used to compare 3 or more things. For example, in the question, who's the better quarterback, Eli Manning or his brother Peyton? We're comparing the 2 Manning brothers, so better is the appropriate form of the adjective good to use. However, in this statement, many Colts fans still consider Peyton Manning to be the best quarterback ever. We're comparing Peyton Manning to all of the quarterbacks who have ever played football. That's more than two, so the appropriate adjective form is the superlative. As we've already discussed, the base form of the adjective, such as slow, is called the positive. The comparative and superlative of most adjectives are formed by adding the endings er, as in slower, and est, as in slowest, to the positive form, slow, slower, slowest. Longer adjectives and most adverbs have more and most, or less and least, clearly, more clearly, most clearly. If you add er or est to an adjective or adverb, never use more, most, or less least. The most lowest point in the U.S. is in Death Valley is incorrect. Just use lowest. A few adjectives and adverbs have irregular comparatives and superlatives, such as good and well. Their comparative is better, and the superlative is best. For bad and badly, the comparative is worse, and the superlative is worst. When you're writing about a far distance, the comparative and superlative are farther and farthest, both with an A. But when you're writing about a far time or amount, the comparative and superlative are further and furthest with a U. When using the adjective little in reference to an amount, use less and least. For many, much, and some, the comparative is more and the superlative is most. Use your modifiers responsibly. Place adjectives, adverbs, and other modifiers so that readers clearly understand which words they modify. Groucho Marx is famous for the joke, "One morning I shot an elephant in my pajamas. How he got in my pajamas, I'll never know." Here's another example of a misplaced modifier, not by Groucho Marx. The doctor explained advances in cancer treatment to the families of patients at the seminar. Who was at the seminar, the doctor or the patient's families? Move that misplaced modifier at the seminar and the confusion disappears. At the seminar, the doctor explained to the families of patients. The surgeons assured the patient that they intended to make only 2 small incisions before the anesthesiologist arrived. Yikes! Incisions before anesthesia are to be avoided at all cost. Were this to say, before the anesthesiologist arrived, the surgeons assured the patient that they intended to make only 2 small incisions. To avoid ambiguity, position limiting modifiers such as almost, even, just, merely, and only next to the word or phrase they modify, and be careful that your meaning is clear. A triple threat athlete, Martha only played soccer in college, is completely different than a triple threat athlete, Martha played only soccer in college. And be careful that your placement of not doesn't result in a meaning you don't intend. When I attended college, every student was not using a laptop means no students were using laptops. When I attended college, not every student was using a laptop means some, but not all students had laptops. We've talked about infinitives a couple of times. They're verb phrases made up of to plus the base form of the verb. For example, to go is an infinitive phrase. When you place a modifier between to and the base form of the verb, you create a split infinitive, such as to deliberately avoid. Or this example, professional soccer players are expected to rigorously train every day. A split infinitive could trip up your reader, so move the adverb so it follows the infinitive phrase. To train rigorously every day. I'm a Trekker from way back, and when you're also a grammar nerd, the opening to Star Trek when Captain Kirk proclaims their mission is to boldly go where no man has gone before is downright painful. It's not only sexist, it's a split infinitive too. Shame on you, James T. Kirk. At least Captain Picard changed it to boldly go where no one has gone before. It's still a split infinitive, but at least it's more inclusive. Here's the rundown on adjectives and adverbs. Adjectives modify nouns. Adverbs modify verbs and other adjectives. Comparatives, like er, compare two things. Superlatives, est, compare more than two. And make sure modifiers are close to the words they describe. That's all for Lesson 7. Don't forget to check Canvas for a quiz, and I'll see you next time for Lesson 8, Articles. Thanks for stopping by. And thanks to Slides Carnival and Unsplash for creating this fabulous slides template. See you next time.